Heyo, this is Dash, and today I'm using Sammy again. I know, we've been using Sammy a lot, but you know what? I figured I would do something on Sammy that I did the other day. We're just gonna do it again with some pork ribs this time. So I'm gonna be doing some baby back ribs on Sammy the Big Green Egg. Now, if you don't know, this is Sammy, my extra large Big Green Egg. I'm gonna get her fired up. I'm gonna get her going. I have an errand to run. I'm gonna come back. We're gonna check on these ribs. Hopefully they'll be fine. I think they'll be fine. And I'll see you guys in a bit. Hey yo, this is Dash. Get ready. Alright, so first things first, when dealing with the Big Green Egg, you're gonna have to get everything cleaned up. So because this diverter plate is not hot, I'm gonna just move it out of the way. Get it set off to the side. I'm going to agitate my charcoal here and get some of the ash that's in here out, and then we'll get some more charcoal on top of this. So have my new charcoal spread out. I'm just going to put them right here. One on this side, and we'll put another on this side. So what will happen is I'm going to start the fire in the middle, and once these coals actually get lit, they will light up this wood, and we'll have some apple wood smoked baby back ribs. Okay, so I have a half catering pan, a half size catering pan, and you see I'm using warm water. The grill is already going to have a hard enough time to get up to temperature. Outside currently we are in the low 40s. It's not that bad, but it is pretty chilly. So I have my water pan. I'm going to get the water pan centered on the diverter plate. I have this riser. I picked this riser up from a Ace, I think the H2 value, and I was kind of unsure of how or what to do with it, but I think I've kind of gotten it figured out. So we're going to get the riser on, and with the riser we then put the grate on, and you have to get this on properly because the riser, because of the way that there are openings in the grate, you have to make sure that you have the riser on the grate properly to hold everything together. So I have my grate on, and one of the other things I found with the riser and using this grate, you have to push the grate back just a little bit, and then it kind of settles itself, and move it back a little more, and there we go. So I'm gonna move the grate back just a little bit, then it closes with no problem. My daisy wheel, I'm gonna actually get the daisy wheel opened up halfway. So my daisy wheel is set, my intake is set. I have it open about 1 inch, and the whole thing is with this cook, I'm actually gonna be letting the grill come up to temperature for a little while. Then I will get my ribs, and I'm gonna go inside and get them seasoned. We're gonna get the ribs. We're gonna place them on the Big Green Egg. We're just gonna let it do what it does. I'm gonna put the ribs on the Big Green Egg earlier than I would want to. The ribs are actually gonna kind of come up to temperature with the Big Green Egg. Those of you guys who have Big Green Eggs, or if you're interested in the Big Green Egg, the only downfall on the Big Green Egg is the time that it takes to come up to temperature. But I will tell you, and just like anyone else will tell you, the time waited to let one of these come up to temperature, once you get the temperature dialed in, they will stay rock solid at that temperature for hours and hours and hours on end with very little fiddling. That's one of the things I like about this thing. The only thing I don't like about it is the lead time it takes for me to get it up to the temperature that I need. Honestly enough, with this particular cook, I'm really not worried about how long it takes. I'm not on any sort of timetable today. I am just cooking for my family. I'm basically just cooking lunch. I want to have these ribs done by about lunchtime. All right, Sammy, I'll see you. So I have my ribs here. They're cleaned up. The silver skin has been removed, and at this point, I'm gonna get them seasoned. When I season my ribs, when I season anything, I always start with the bottom side. Now today, I'm going to be using a combination of some good old Lowry's all-season salt, and I'm going to be using this Suckle Buster's Best in Texas. This is the sweetest rub in Texas. This is the Sugar Daddy rub. And I want to thank Ricer for actually sending this out. If you guys don't know, Ricer from Deadbrook Barbecue of Wisconsin, he hosts a live stream every Sunday night. It's at 9 o'clock my time, 8 o'clock his time. So definitely check it out. I'll have a link to his channel down below. But I won one of the live streams, or one of the rubs one week. So I got this Sugar Daddy rub, and I'm going to try it today on these ribs. I have actually, full disclosure, tried it already. I did it on some chicken. I think it needed just a little something extra, so I'm going to add a little bit of salt. I'm going to get my salt on first, and I'm not putting a lot of salt, of seasoned salt on this. I'm just a nice even coat, and again, I'm starting on the bottom because the bottom side is the side that's going to be on the grill primarily for the most part, and we don't care about what it looks like. So we're going to season the bottom with some salt, help bring out the flavor of the ribs, and then we're going to come back behind it with the Sugar Daddy rub. Now I know this is more sweet than anything, so I'm just going to put on a nice layer of this. I'm going to pat it in. Now I'm not using any sort of binder or anything on these ribs today either. Flip these over. Flip these over. Again, salt layer first. I'm being very light with the salt. I just want to use it to help bring out that sweetness of the Sugar Daddy rub. And I tell you what, you can use Lowry's and season something and it'll stand on its own. So in case you've never used Lowry's, highly recommend it. And the Sweet Daddy rub, we're just gonna put a nice even coat on the ribs. I want to make sure I'm getting the ribs at all angles. And don't forget the front edge and the sides. Now I'm going to pat this in, and we'll go one more again. Now I use a very light coat. I just want some seasoning on these ribs. I'm not trying to overdo it. Alright, I'll see you guys back outside of the grill. But here are my ribs after sitting and sweating for a few minutes. Whoa, my goodness. Whoa, my goodness. Can you imagine had I dropped that? That'd have been a real bad look. But let's get these on the smoker. Alright, So that's it. I'm gonna let these go for a couple hours. I'll see you guys when I get back home. All right, I am back from my excursion, my field trip of sorts. It is about 10 o'clock and Sammy is sitting at exactly 250 degrees. She's climbing slowly. So it's at 252 actually. I just saw when I walked past the grill, it was at 250. When I went in the house and got the camera, came back outside, I'm looking at it now, it's at 252. But talk about exactly where I needed to be. So let me show you guys what these ribs look like after about 2.5, almost, well, yeah, it's 2.5, almost 3 hours. Oh yeah, they smell great. I'm gonna leave them alone. All right, so it's been another half hour, and what you see here is some homemade apple juice. So it's 4 small apples, and an orange. So I'm gonna use this as a mop sauce. The ribs are starting to get a little dry, so I'm gonna use this as a mop sauce just to rehydrate these things. I didn't add any sugar, I didn't add anything to this little mop sauce, and I just want to add this to the ribs to rehydrate them, make sure they stay moist. And I guess I'll come back out here every half an hour or so, and I'll put some more of this mop sauce on top of these guys, and hopefully it'll help. All right, so I'm back out of Sammy, and it is almost 11 o'clock. What I'm gonna do at this point, I'm gonna mop them one more time, and then I'm gonna get them wrapped up in some butcher paper. I've been trying out the butcher paper. So far, so good. I don't know if I would use it necessarily for when I'm doing customer cooks, but it's not bad for just doing things for the family. So let me get these mopped again, and they're looking great. But let's get this. Now again, this was just straight apple juice, and it was home juiced apples. My wife had some apples that were looking a little worse for wear. She was cleaning out the fridge, so as opposed to letting them go to waste, we used the juicer, dug out of the basement since it's clean, and we juiced 4 apples and an orange. And I'm telling you guys, they look great. They look great. Hopefully the wife and the kids enjoy these ribs and make this cook worth it. But they look good. Nice glaze forming on these ribs. I am excited for them to try these ribs. Let's get everything. Now, let's get these off and get them wrapped up. All right. First rack. Now, to wrap these up, I'm going to wrap them up like you would a burrito. So with the burrito, you put it at an angle, bring your paper up and over, bring your edge over, bring your other edge over, and you flip this way. Now I'm going to keep flipping because it's the odd shape of my paper. Now the bone side is down, the meat side is up. I'm going to get the other rack. I'll be right back. Well, the other half rack. Now you saw I didn't add anything to this paper. I'm just going to let them hang out, aside from the fact that I just mopped these ribs, put that little bit of sauce on the ribs just before I wrap them up. But we're going to get them back over to the smoker, and I'll see you guys in a couple hours. All right, so I'm back out at Sammy, and we're going to go ahead and get the ribs taken off. The thinner of the two pieces, and I keep calling them whole racks. They're not. They are. Oh yeah. Yes, indeed. So very soft and tender. I'm gonna get this in the house, and we're going to let it rest for a moment or so, and then we're gonna get taste tester number 3 and taste tester number 2 to try these out and tell us how they are. The other half rack isn't done yet. We're just gonna let it finish, and I'll be back out here a little later, but I'll probably close out the video before that's done. All right, guys, so my ribs are done and in the house. We're gonna get them unwrapped here out of the butcher paper, and I'm digging the butcher paper. I'm not woo, they are hot. So far so good. I tell you what, these ribs smell just like some applewood smoked bacon, which is crazy. Huh? Oh. These are ridiculously soft. I'm gonna go ahead and switch hands here. Now I did flip them over because I don't have any sauce on them, but they smell just like applewood. It smells just like applewood smoked bacon. So I'm gonna switch hands here, get a knife, and we're gonna cut them up, and we're gonna get the family to come and taste these. Oh man, they're so tender. Now I told you guys that I used applewood to smoke these because of that apple tree that I have in my yard that is down. The branch came off, and I went ahead and cut up some of those limbs, and we threw a couple limbs in the smoker today. My good, yo, these smell just like applewood smoked bacon. It's ridiculous. So now, taste tester. I have my taste testers on the ready. Do you guys want to come in and try these? Do you need a plate, or you gonna eat it right like that? Here's a taste tester number 3 size one. You don't need a plate. You don't have to get a plate. Yeah, pick whatever one you want. Is taste tester number mommy coming in too?
Smells like ham.
Smells like ham, okay. You're fine. Come on. Stand right in the middle of them.
Okay. Is it good? Oh, hell no.
Oh my gosh.
I gotta try it myself.
There's no wrong answer. If you don't like it, you don't like it. I didn't put a whole bunch of heavy seasoning on it, and I didn't do the normal seasoning.
I like it.
What does it taste like?
Ribs. Porky deliciousness.
Okay. Do you taste any sweet? Do you taste any... I'm not...
It's slightly sweet.
Okay.
The seasoning is definitely not as heavy as you usually do it.
Okay.
Usually it's a saltier, and then also these doesn't have any
barbecue
sauce on it, so I like the fact that it doesn't have sauce on it.
Okay.
I don't know what this is called, bark or whatever it is. It's
go ahead. Go goodbye. He's freezing. Go ahead.
No, it was like warming up, and it felt weird.
The bark is nice, and I think the first piece I had was, you know, one of those juicy fatty pieces.
Okay. Go ahead, take that one.
It's very smoky.
Okay. Is it too smoky?
I taste it throughout the meat.
Okay.
So what I taste most is the smoke.
Yeah.
More than any salt or anything else.
Seasoning. Okay.
Seasoning, yeah. Where usually I would taste a lot more salt and seasoning in your ribs than this time. So whatever seasoning is on here is very mild.
All right.
Where the smoky flavor has taken over.
Okay. Would you want me to do something similar to this again? Because it basically was a little bit of salt, a little bit of sweet seasoning, and that apple juice and orange juice mop that I put on top of it.
Yeah, this is fine. Yeah.
So, try to show you guys the smoke ring there on the ribs. It looks pretty decent.
Where do you see a smoke ring?
This the pink line right there. You can see it a
It's
little.
not falling apart, so it still has a good bite to it.
Yes.
Just good.
Go ahead. Dude.
Okay. I'm off video now because I really like to keep eating them.
Alright, so there you have it, guys. My family, they liked them. Taste tester number 1, or excuse me, taste tester number 2, 3, and taste tester mommy enjoyed the ribs. They really have a smell, a scent to them like bacon, like the applewood smoked bacon, which is crazy. The bark on the ribs, it like I think this was a home run without it being a home run. Like, I wasn't trying to make it this way, but it was really good. It seemed like it turned out really good. Just like my wife said, they weren't falling completely apart off of the bone. They still had a little bit of bite to them, and I will try to mimic this or do this again. Again, that Suckle Busters rub was definitely sweet, and that was some of the sweetness she was talking about. So, thank you guys, as always, for watching. Let's roll the outro.
More butter, baby.
Thank you guys again, as always, for watching. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. If you like what you saw today, if you learned something, please leave me a comment and a thumbs up down below. Don't forget to turn that notification bell on so you can be notified whenever one of these videos goes live. Speaking of live, I go live every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. 2 hours. First hour, we talk about barbecue and or something barbecue business related. Second hour, we kind of shoot the breeze, talk amongst friends. Make sure you bring a cool refreshment with you. Anyway, thanks again, as always, for watching. I'll see you next time.